All right. So I saw this while I was actually doing the Dwight Howard video about Kareem. And I was actually going to do something else about Dwight Howard and DeMarcus Cousins because they was going in on the NBA. But I'm going to do this one right quick because this is kind of going in the NBA. So as I was reading that other article, this article came out yesterday and it's on the Basketball Network. And it reads, "This is for Bucks fans only." I know there's probably not many of them on there, but this is for Bucks fans only or anybody who's interested. In this title, this article says, "They cheated for the 76ers. Michael Redd believes the Bucks will have matched up better with the Lakers in the 2001 NBA Finals. Redd thinks the 2001 Bucks will give the Lakers problems." That's either near or there, but we ain't going to talk about what I always truly believe what happened in the 2001 Eastern Conference Finals. So this is what Michael Redd had to say. In this article, it says, "It's just another day in office when someone accuses the NBA of rigging games." Sounds condescending, but whatever. However, basketball fans couldn't help but ask, what if? In these scenarios similar to the one the guys on the Knuckleheads podcast, get out of here, these pop-ups. Guys at the Knuckleheads podcast talked about with guest Michael Redd. When Michael Redd talked about how stacked and talented the 2001 NBA Bucks were, host Darius Miles couldn't help but fan the flames. "They cheated for the 76ers," quipped the third overall pick of the 2000 NBA draft. That's Darius Miles because Michael Redd was a second rounder. That's what he said. I thought Michael Redd said that crap. But Darius Miles said they cheated for the 76ers. That's what Darius Miles said. Now, of course, as a member, what is going on with this freaking computer and this website? Of course, as a member of that team, the sharpshooting former All-Star Reddy agreed. "Yeah, we believe that," said the lefty shooting guard in the podcast's latest episode. And he goes on to say, "You mentioned the Lakers. We were undefeated against the Lakers that year." They was. It was 2-0. Remember, this team, anybody remembers that team, had not Michael Redd, but Glenn Robinson, Sam Cassell, and of course, one of the greatest shooters of all time, Ray Allen. Michael Redd was a rookie that year on the bench. He didn't really come into his own probably until he really didn't get time until the next season when everything collapsed for the Bucks because of George Karl ball-headed ass. But anyway, let's keep moving. Like I said, "You mentioned the Lakers. We were undefeated against the Lakers that year," Redd added. "It was matchups. You know, the playoffs is all about matchups. So I think we had a matchup that's more than what Philadelphia can present. That team probably could have contended for the championship for real." Redd was not alone in this sentiment. Former Ray Allen, teammates Ray Allen, and Tim Thomas felt the same. Did they feel the deal back in 01? The burden of proof is always on the accuser's shoulders, but several eyewitnesses, including Darius Miles, swore the NBA tilted the pendulum in favor of the Sixers in Game 7. The allegations was that David Stern wanted Allen Iverson versus Kobe and Shaq matchup in the finals a more profitable headline than the Lakers and Bucks. I'm going to go into that later. That being said, it's hard to nitpick wrong calls from that series and label them as proof of rigging. Referees make mistakes and probably went both ways. However, one suspicious decision the NBA made was suspending Scott Williams. Sorry, I got loud because of that. Because reasons I'll talk about later. Considered the heart and soul of the Milwaukee Bucks. Williams was one of the two players with playoff experience, being a member of the Chicago Bulls' first three peats. The other was Sam Cassell, who was also a two-time champion with the Houston Rockets with Hakeem and Clyde. Milwaukee never recovered and was blown out by Philadelphia in the deciding game. All three of the Bucks' big guns, Ray Allen, Glenn Robinson, Cassell, got their 20 points, but that was about it. The Bucks practically had no fight left after the Williams suspension and shot themselves in the foot by committing 15 turnovers to Philly's 6. Miles and Redd mentioned that the Bucks swept the Lakers 2-0 in their season that year, but the story did not end there. This was very known for the Milwaukee Bucks. This is how good the Milwaukee Bucks was good that year. Because you all know the Western Conference during that time was a tough conference. But the Milwaukee Bucks that year went 8-0 against the top four seeds in the West, which was, at the time, Spurs, Kings, Jazz, and of course, the Lakers. Most were close, except for the Lakers' Utah home game when he beat the visitors by 22. The Bucks' offense was devastating relative to their area. They were among the top 5 in three-point percentage, second in three-point field goals made, second in points per game, and top of the leaderboard offensive rated. But would they have slowed down the Lakers' juggernaut that year? That is the question right there. Who was going to hold Shaq? Because I think their center was Irvin Johnson, not Magic, but ball fade Irvin Johnson. I don't think so. It was Scott Williams. That would have been a problem. The Bucks down low would have had issues. But on the perimeter, Sam Cassell, Ray Allen, and Glenn Robinson, it'd been kind of tough for the Lakers to overcome that. But anyways, would they slow down the Lakers juggernaut? As good as the Bucks were offensively, the Purple Gold were a defensive beast. In 2001 playoffs, they were far away the best team in the postseason on offense and defense with a net rating of 13 plus 13.7. If teams played a 7-game first round series back then, the Lakers would have been 16-1 in the postseason. It would have been fun to see the Lakers match up against the Bucks for your outshot shooters and all those marbles. All right. Here we go. Yes, as a Bucks fan, I'm going to say this, and I don't care what you say, because I think majority of people who watched that series probably agree. The Bucks were robbed in that Game 7. They pulled the Draymond Green before they pulled the Draymond Green. What I mean by that is Scott Williams was the heart and soul of that team, similar to like how Draymond Green is. And I think Scott Williams, it wasn't a egregious foul, as I can remember, but he fouled Allen Iverson. And you can't foul the Golden Calf, which was AI. That was AI's MVP year as well. They was also first seed. Philly was the first seed. The Bucks were the second seed. And towards most of that game, they tried to swing every call for the Philly. Philly was at the line so many times, it went crazy. And I think that game was also looked at when it came to the investigations with the ref. I can't think of his name right now, but the ref who was pulling tricks and all that, doing all that shady stuff that got sent to jail. I think that was one of the games, or was it one of the games that he revealed later on or something like that. Not as much as a travesty as the horribly officiated game with the Kings and Lakers the next year in the 2002 Western Conference Finals. But it wasn't that far off. David Stern and the NBA, they like money. Here's the thing that most people don't understand about the NBA and the business of the NBA. You gotta look at it this. AI, box office, big name, controversial too, MVP season. The Milwaukee Bucks, if you was an NBA junkie, you knew about them. If you was a casual, you probably didn't know about it as much. Allen Iverson was so controversial with the rap, hip hop culture and all that. Everybody knew him. You got to think about the city of Philadelphia. I think right now, if you look at population-wise, the sixth largest city in the U.S., right behind the one I'm living in right now in Phoenix. They have a media share probably a little bit bigger than Milwaukee at the time. And you also got to look, the Lakers are, Los Angeles is probably the first or second media hub when it comes to the NBA in the country. Either it's number one in front of New York or behind New York, one or two. And they got to look at Kobe and Shaq. Box office. No one wanted to see Ray Allen and the Milwaukee Bucks versus the Lakers. They wanted to see the dynamic AI. AI putting the team on his back. That's what they wanted to see. That's what David Stern thought would make the most money, get the most revenue. So he probably had the refs take turns, take tricks, calling stupid calls and all this stuff. And this was said by Ray Allen and George Karl and Glenn Robinson and Sam Cassell right after their season ended that year. But yeah, I believe it's rigged. I believe half of the stuff we see in the NBA is rigged. You'll be a full-fledged fool to think not. But I know some people that don't think any of these leagues are rigged, especially the NBA. You'll be a fool not to think that, because they are. We have seen it. There's even that referee that got caught. They got caught get mad because I think he betted on the Celtics or something like that. Yeah. So there's that. There's plenty of instances when things look suspicious in the NBA as of recent as well. I think Tim Donahue, the ref that got sent to jail for what he was doing, even said they extend 7-game series out to get the most revenue and money out of it. So there's that. But another way to look at this, will my Milwaukee Bucks even win that series against the Lakers? Regular season and playoffs is totally different things. Me and it being as an 11-year-old at the time, I truly believe the Milwaukee Bucks could beat those Lakers. But now looking back at it, I don't know. Maybe not. But you never know. I always wanted to see that Ray Allen versus Kobe matchup. You didn't get to see it until 2008. You didn't get to see it again until 2010. Both Ray Allen and Kobe are one-on-one in the finals against each other. So there's that. And also, as far as a Milwaukee Bucks fan, I was devastated. Crying. Yeah, I'll admit it. I was crying. But you know what? You know what happened? I had to wait 20 years later to finally see them win. 20 years later. So, what happened with 23 years ago now? It's water under the bridge. But anyways,